Liftoff. The clock has started. Roger, 0G, and I feel fine. Godspeed, John Glenn.
Houston, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed. Roger, Tranquility. We copy you on the ground.
New possibilities are opening up for scientific cooperation between countries.
2, 1, 0, 0. Liftoff. Americans return to space as Discovery clears the tower.
Discovery, go and throttle up.
Discovery, Roger. Go for deploy.
Thanks, June, and to everybody in the shuttle program. The crew is go for launch.
Roger, nice to be in orbit.
We have followed in their footsteps to get us where we are today.
Station, this is Houston. Are you ready for the event?
We are ready for the event.
Administrator Nelson, this is Mission Control Houston. Please call station for a voice check.
Station, this is Bill Nelson. How do you read? Station, we'll try again. Can you hear me, station? How do you read?
Okay, we copy, and we're standing by.
Okay.
Say hello again, please.
This is Bill Nelson, station. How are you receiving me?
Houston headquarters, are you reading us?
Houston, we have you loud and clear.
Let's try it again.
Station, this is Bill Nelson. Can you hear us?
Administrator Nelson, we have you loud and clear. We're excited to get to chat with you all.
Okay. Well, this is an honor for Pam and Bob and me to talk with you and to congratulate you on bringing Starliner in and doing it so well. So thank you so very much. Tell us what do you think you've learned as a result of docking Starliner?
Well, thank you, sir. It's been an absolute privilege to be the on-orbit part of the team that got Starliner successfully up here and docked to the space station. It's been a busy couple of days as we watched Starliner dock and then getting the hatch open and doing all of the cargo transfer and then participating in some of the checkouts as Starliner's been up here. And, you know, I think that we've just learned, what we are capable of when we are working together as a team. It's been phenomenal to see the Boeing, the commercial crew program, the NASA team all working together to make this happen. We know it's been a long road, and we're just overjoyed to be a part of this success with all of these teammates.
Well, each of us want to ask a question of you. I'm going to flip it to Pam.
Thanks, Bill. It's great to see you guys up there. This is so exciting. We were, of course, all watching very closely, and is not unusual for a first-time docking to station. There were some holds out there for a while, and we were tracking that. Maybe Chell or Bob, if you could share with us what kind of individual duties did you have during that time frame as you were monitoring Starliner coming in?
Well, it was a team effort, obviously. There was a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes, too, getting all the cargo pre-packed and all that stuff and staged and ready to go. Rendezvous was pretty awesome. The early stages of it, there's not quite as much for us to do, and so we were able to look out the window. We could visually acquire, I think, around 15 kilometers or so, and it was just this bright white, white LED, so you could see it just stark contrast against the black sky out there, and it was really cool to watch it come all the way up, arrive up on the R bar and then transition to the B bar in front of station, and then come on in. So once we got on the docking axis in front, we had some new displays that NASA has put together that help us monitor its track on the way in, and so that's what we were cross-checking from the cupola. And watching it come in with an occasional glance out the window every now and then. So it looked beautiful coming in, and it was just really special to get to see it come out there. And it was once it parked out there on the doorstep for a little while, it was almost like it was just giving us a chance to admire it for a little bit longer before finally coming into dock.
Well, that's awesome. The pictures were great, and I thought I heard a reference to RPOP in there, so it sounds like an upgraded version of RPOP, what we used for Rendezvous previously. I'll turn it over to you, Bob.
Yeah, you guys did a great job. There was one picture where it showed the curvature of the Earth shot from ISS with Starliner sitting in the blackness of space, and man, that was a quintessential picture of what it's like to be up there. Jessica, it seems like yesterday I was talking to you in crew quarters. You looked like you've settled in pretty well up there. Great job getting Starliner aboard. But what do you think having, Boeing Starliner OFT-2? What does this test mean to, the astronaut office and the commercial crew program? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. It's great to talk to you again, sir. And we are so excited up here to have Starliner dock to station. And just like you're saying, what that means for us and for our future and our future capabilities. We're super excited about the capability that having Starliner up here brings in terms of having this kind of dissimilar redundancy that we talk about, having different vehicles that will enable us the possibility and the opportunity to send our astronauts up to the space station to help continue the legacy of the amazing space station, and as we continue on and continue to contribute towards going to the moon and to Mars as well. So we're super excited about this milestone and the possibilities that it will open up.
Hey, Samantha, it's awesome to see you in space again. It's really terrific. We were talking about cargo a few minutes ago, and it's exciting to me that 500 pounds of cargo also made it to station, and 600 pounds are coming back. And sure enough, there's some supplies for you, but the really exciting stuff is the science. So, Sam, what can you tell me about the science and what's exciting you about that?
Yes, ma'am. Of course. I mean, that's our primary work up here is to advance the science program. And I'm excited about science from 2 points of view. I see or I like payloads where I think that they're really going to advance our knowledge. about, for example, how the human body works. An example of a payload or a science experiment that's coming soon, and it was actually developed in Italy, where I come from, is Suture in Space, where we're going to investigate how wounds heal up here, which is obviously interesting in terms of exploration to, be able to support also better and better astronauts in the future as they live and work in space for extended, longer and longer periods of time. But it's also interesting at a fundamental level to understand wound healing, and so also helping everybody on Earth that has to deal with that healing process. But then I'm also excited about things that directly will enable us to explore further beyond low Earth orbit to the cislunar space, the moon surface, and one day Mars. And so I'm excited about payloads like another one that's coming up soon that will investigate like a concrete surrogate for construction in situ on Moon or Mars, to be able to utilize the resources that we find there to build structures. So just a couple of examples of the hundreds and hundreds of experiments that are ongoing on space station at any given time.
So I got a toss-up question for you. The Starliner had a passenger on board. When Spanky and Sonny were out doing checks on the vehicle before launch and closing the hatch, I was going to try and sneak out there in my blue suit and see if I couldn't replace Rosie. But Rosie the Rocketeer was on board, and I just wondered, did she look comfortable? And what kind of data do we hope to get back from Rosie in her trip to space and coming back home?
Yeah, it was pretty special seeing Rosie in there, and turns out there was a stowaway as well. One of the funny things is when we popped the hatch open, there was Jebediah Kerbal sitting right there staring at us at the in the hatch. So that was pretty cool too. My understanding is this time Rosie is serving mostly as a mass representation for someone in the seat. The seats I think are instrumented, and so they'll be getting some of the force and strain gauge data off of that, especially for reentry. But a lot of they got a lot of the data that they wanted off of OFT-1 off of Rosie, and so a lot of those instruments have been repurposed to the vehicle itself, and so they've taken some of those sensors and moved them off to look at the hull performance throughout this one, looking at expansion and contraction and that kind of thing. So Rosie is in there babysitting everything and keeping a good eye on it, and we've made sure that she's well taken care of while we've been working around her this week.
Thanks, Bob.
Hey, Samantha, I was really interested to hear about you having this magic potion to mix with regolith or moon dust to build things. Not only are we going to build habitats on the moon as we get prepared to go to Mars, but one of the most useful things we could do is to build a landing pad so that when our future landers are landing, that we don't stir up all that dust coming in. And thank you for doing that experiment. I also want to say that Pam and I are going to be talking to the government of Italy, and we're going to try to hitch up with another communication with you when we are doing that, and that'll be next month.
Oh, that would be fantastic, sir. I look forward to talking to you all then when you will be in Italy, and I'm sure that my countrymen and countrywomen will take good care of you when you're there.
How much time do we have left?
I think we've got another
minutes?
6 minutes or so.
Oh, good.
Okay,
Good.
we've got some time.
Yeah.
All right.
I guess for Bob or Jeanette, what's the one thing, this being your first time up there, what's one thing that really stood out to you?
Well, certainly, sir, the ride up was pretty phenomenal. as you well know, the kick in the pants and the ride off the launch pad is really exciting. And so I think, both Jessica and I would really acknowledge that. And then, getting up here, looking out the window is pretty phenomenal, but also just observing how this incredible engineering marvel that is the space station, how it operates, how we maintain it, and what it's been able to do for 2 decades now and is still going strong is pretty incredible. So I think all of that put together just makes for an incredible experience and one big surprise, for just things that maybe you weren't expecting or were a little bit different.
Jessica, is there any place on Earth that you're particularly focusing on with taking pictures, whether it's a hometown or a favorite place you've lived or worked or visited?
Yes, certainly yes to all of the above. I am definitely trying to keep my eyes peeled for any of places that are familiar that we've worked or lived, but also there's so many gorgeous places on Earth with so many gorgeous rocks for us to investigate up here. And my crewmates are putting up with my, coming up and wanting to talk about geology. So I really appreciate that. But it has been absolutely awesome being able to watch the Earth from here, observe from this vantage point. But something to add to the last question as well, something that has surprised me, though maybe shouldn't surprise me, is how enamored I have become and been up here with the moon as well. Being able to observe the moon rise and set with the Earth and with the sun is just absolutely just beautiful from here. And being able to see the whole planetary body from this perspective has just been awesome.
In addition to the experiments that Samantha was mentioning, are you all doing any growing of plants in the experimentation? How about protein crystal growth? How about any other medical experiments that you want to tell us about?
Well, yes, sir. One of my favorite experiments during my last mission was in the veggie enclosure where we grew red romaine lettuce, and I was very excited to learn that we were going to be growing a crop again during this mission, and we're using the veggie enclosure for an experiment called X-Roots. Last time we grew the plants in kind of a soil matrix that was enclosed in a kind of a pillow of fabric. And that's where the roots grew. This time, we're studying aeroponics and hydroponics, and so we have a special setup where the plants, their roots are going to grow directly into water or sprayed by water aerosols, and so we're really excited to see these crops grow. And I think this is an experiment. I got to plant those about a week ago. And inside the test kit, there are a whole array of different species of plants. And so I think this is a project that our crew members in the future are going to be working on for some time. And this really gives us, I think, an opportunity to study how we might use plants in vehicles in the future. And also to help grow crops in kind of more dense enclosures back on the Earth, so that in places where maybe arable soil is not available, that there's an opportunity to produce crops in enclosures in greater densities than you'd be able to do just using soil. So very exciting to do that. It's millions of gardeners are on the ground will testify at the benefits of not just getting to study plants, but the psychological benefits, and then for us the benefits to long duration exploration as a food source and potentially as a part of the ECLS, the environmental control system.
All of you look great, so you're obviously staying fit. How much time a day do you spend working out?
Yes, indeed. We do work out every day. We have about 2 hours and a half allocated. That includes, setting up, tearing down the equipment, and washing afterwards. But it's a good couple of hours of actual working out. Both resistive exercise, which is very, very important to maintain not only our muscular strength, but also the health of our bones, to counteract that loss of bone density that would otherwise naturally occur in the environment of weightlessness up here. And then we also have 2 pieces of equipment to do cardiovascular workouts. So we can ride a bike, which is a very special bike, has no seat, since we don't get to sit in in zero G. And then we have a treadmill with a special harness that allows us to actually run in space without floating off the treadmill at the first step. So yes, we do try to stay fit up here.
We're at the end of our time, and we'll say goodbye, but I'll just tell you, 36 years ago, I did the first treadmill in space on the space shuttle, the 24th flight. And I'm so glad. You all look terrific. We love you. We miss you. We thank you on behalf of our country for what you're doing, and we thank you on behalf of our space program as we get ready to go back to the moon, and then we're going to Mars. Thank you, guys. Have a great day.
Station, this is Houston ACR. That concludes the event.
Thank you, Administrator Nelson, Deputy Administrator Melroy, and Associate Administrator Cabana. Station, we are now resuming operational audio communications.